Hey everyone, JagTaggart93 here with another Doom WOD review. This one is called Breach. It was created by Viggles and it was released on December 30th, 2017. Now according to the readme file to this map, Breach is a, quote, sprawling tech-based medley with surreal interludes in hell. Assume the usual twaddle about teleportation research gone awry. The readme file continues. This was an exercise in using the original Doom 2 textures and specials to build something very modern, with intricate spaces, long vistas, and a bunch of half-assed environmental storytelling. Inspired by No Rest for the Living, Visions of Eternity, Vaporware Demo, and Metroid Prime. The readme file also says that it has a moderate difficulty with emphasis on Rambo-style gameplay. Mouse click is unnecessary and jumping could break progression. So yeah, that's the map's readme description. And yes, that's mostly bang on accurate, especially about its theme. Doom 2's native textures and resources are used phenomenally well to create a very realistic techno-based type environment. Seasoned and experienced players will get a bit of a challenge out of this one, because as it said in the readme file, much of the fighting takes place around intricate corridors and rooms. There's a lot of surprises and irregular angles from which enemies will attack from. Now because of this, despite what the readme file actually says, mouse look is actually very much a requirement. You'll have enemies attacking not just behind you left and right, but up, down, and from awkward angles as well. So the complicated architecture here, plus the dynamic vertical enemy placement, means that the player really has to think fast, and think very fast and move fast, while returning fire and finding strategic places to take cover behind. Now I actually found the techno-based theme really done pretty well, and I nearly forgot that there were supposed to be those brief, surreal interludes in hell that the readme file mentioned. So when they finally occurred, they really caught me off guard. Now these interludes into the abyss feel very natural and are not forced in the slightest. And that kind of has to do with the techno-based theme as well. As you get deeper into the techno-base, the high-tech futuristic surroundings become more and more twisted and corrupted by, I guess, Hell's influences. Really well done. I know we've seen it before, but here it's fantastic. So the author definitely made a quality map in terms of architecture and style. However, it is definitely not a map aimed at Rambo-style gameplay. You see, the unconventionally spread out enemy placement and tight, jagged structure of this map makes run and gun tactics very, very tricky. Also, ammunition and weapons are placed very tightly and spaced very much the hell away from each other. So, while this is by no means a survival map, I'd hardly call it Rambo-style either. Nor would I say that this map is moderately difficult. This map is hard, real hard, and has a bit of a learning curve to it. Now that's because of the progression to the map, and it definitely doesn't hold your hand at all. To put it this way, it's a lot like an old school Dungeons & Dragons adventure, where the players are presented with a dungeon with multiple doors, multiple hallways, and multiple levels. However, while there's multiple ways to go about this dungeon, each of these ways are definitely not equal. There's definitely some ways that are going to be a lot harder than others, depending on the order that you take. Going one direction over another first could and will prove fatal here. So despite the complicated structure of this map, the player never really feels lost. There will be lulls in violence, usually for the rare puzzle or two, which again feel very natural to the theme and not forced. And really, it's a very challenging map overall. I really recommend this to experienced players, and I also recommend playing it on Herbie Plenty first. Don't go in straight into ultra violence. You'll have to do a lot of saving because it's very important you learn this map first. Learn it, learn the best progression to take, learn about what rooms to go in first to get what items, how the rooms are interconnected to each other, because a lot of them are. It might be very tempting to run out of a room full of monsters when you're running low on ammo, so you don't have to engage them, but you go to an adjoining room and lo and behold, the monsters have sniping positions from that previous room into this room. So yeah, definitely keep your wits about you here. I really love maps like this where the player really has to dig in and appreciate all the details of the architecture before fully being able to blaze through it without saving. And this is all why Breach earns a very high 9 out of 10 for me. And that is really it. Thank you all for watching. This is JagTagger93 signing out. Have a good one.